What's up, guys? We are live for another AMA. I'm your host, Greg Mercer. I'm joined by my co-host, Rolando Galliano. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Greg? It's been a while, so I'm excited to be here again.
It's been a while, and yesterday wasn't quite the same without a live AMA, huh? But we rescheduled it for today. We are live today. Let us know what questions you guys have for us, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. The $1 million case study is progressing very nicely. Rolando, do you have a quick update for us on the jungle slider keyboard trays?
Yeah, so as you mentioned in the previous week, the contest winning name was Jungle Slider. So we had to get that over to the manufacturer so they can start building that into the mold, which in terms of timing kind of worked out because of the holiday, the national holiday we have this week. So that slowed down production. But yeah, we go into mass production here next week. And that's what keeps us really excited about this. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah, I'm excited to get this thing into production so we can start seeing some photos of it and get that first sample kind of like off the production line. But this isn't a venue to talk about our keyboard tray. This is to answer you guys' questions. So we'll start off with the first one on YouTube from KW, and it says, in the presence of Keyword Scout, does it still make sense to use merchant words, Google AdWords, etc., or not at all? And I'll tell you, I personally used to use some of these other services, and with the invention of Keyword Scout, I'd say very few Amazon sellers are still using these other ones. One of the huge benefits of Keyword Scout, which is our product made by Jungle Scout, so of course I'm a little biased towards it, but it gives you real search volumes from Amazon. So all these other tools would estimate based off of Google search volume or Bing search volume or whatever else. Whereas Keyword Scout, it gives you Amazon search volumes. So the search behavior of customers on Amazon is going to be different than these other platforms. And that's why it's very beneficial to use one that uses it. So the short answer of that is no, it's not really necessary to use those other ones anymore. The reasons why we still kind of like talk about some of the free solutions is, the spirit of the $1 million case study isn't for us to try to sell our tools to you guys. We don't want it to ever feel like that, and that's not the intention of it. We want it to be like the best, most helpful free resource on the web, or even if it was paid, the best resource on the web for learning how to sell on Amazon. All right, what other questions do we have, Rolando?
We got Vlad asking, I thought that backend search terms had a better conversion rate than keywords in the bullet points and description. So how come do you put the fewest keywords in there? Great video, by the way. So thank you, Vlad.
Yeah, there's a lot of opinions in the Amazon space about which sections of a listing are the highest impact, whether or not that's the title or bullet points or description or backend keywords. The only thing that we know for sure that we've proved through testing is the title is by far the highest impact area to put your keywords, okay? So that means that your highest volume keywords that are the most relevant for your product should go in the title. And the rest, it doesn't seem like it makes much difference. In my opinion, the backend search term thing is more of like a kind of like a rumor. But if you feel confident about that, feel free to put your main keywords in that area too.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because I think a lot of this is that we're trying to decipher what Amazon is doing when it comes to keywords. It's not like they spell out what exactly where it is that you're supposed to put the keywords, but from split testing and trying these different variations with different product launches, it seems that this is the hierarchy that we've discovered, right? Would you say that's the case, Greg?
Yeah, I think that's totally right. All right, we got another question from Nima on YouTube. Hi, many thanks for the great videos. I'd like to ask if we need to put the keywords, which we have used in the title, bullet points, and description in the back end keywords section as well. It sounds like there's lots of questions about the back end keywords. And no, there's no benefit of duplicating keywords. So you don't get any like added ranking boost or juice or anything else by repeating keywords. So like if you already have them in the title, it doesn't matter if you don't rank better because you also put those in like your bullet points and your backend search terms.
Yeah. We've got that on YouTube asking, what do you mean by backend keyword search terms? And it's basically on Amazon Seller Central. There is a section where you can go in and list all of your keywords that you're trying to target. It's limited to 250 characters. So that's, keep that in mind. And you don't have to use commas to separate your keywords when you drop them into this field that's found on Amazon Seller Central as you're building out your list. If you head on over to junglescout.com/MDCS 4-9, then you'll see that there's actually screen captures and step-by-steps of what exactly we're referring to from Amazon Seller Central. So I always recommend and encourage to head on over to the blog posts to just follow along step by step. If there is some questions that you may have that that we may have not covered through the video content.
Yeah, totally. Rolando, I'm actually sharing my screen right now. So if you go into Seller Central, you click on a product. So I clicked on our keyboard tray right here. I'm now in the backend area where it says keywords, and this one, search terms. This is what people commonly refer to as your backend search terms, your backend key. All right.
And you may notice there as
go ahead.
well that we dropped a couple of Spanish keywords in there, which is kind of a little hack that we use in order to also target one of the other biggest known languages that's being used right in the US marketplace. So if you have some Spanish keywords you want to drop in there, you can definitely take advantage of that.
Don on YouTube says, why is it desirable to go into the minutia of selecting words? Keywords are very important on Amazon because this is how the customer is going to find your product. It's very unlikely that they're going to be searching for your brand name since this is like a private label product and they don't, there's not like a great amount of general awareness around your brand. So they're going to be searching for the keyword that best represents your product, and that's how they're going to find your product. So choosing the right keywords and making sure you put those in your listing and optimize them, that's how you're going to get sales on Amazon.
Yeah. And we've got Norman asking, you choose a main keyword and you want to rank on page 1 for this keyword, right? What do you do when you get to page 1? Change the main keyword and try to rank for other keywords as well?
Yeah, good question. And no, it doesn't necessarily look like that. So even though like we've chosen our main keyword or the main keyword that we're going to target, and that's the one that we want to put at the beginning of our title, Amazon's looking, their search engine is very sophisticated and they look at it as like more from like a holistic approach. So they see like what subcategory we're in, what other keywords we're using, what people search for and then buy your product. So by putting your main keyword in the front of your title, you have the best chance of being ranked well for that keyword, but you're still going to be ranking for a whole bunch of these other keywords as well. So it's not like that, that you should, once you get on the first page, you delete it and put a new one in there. Like the ranking algorithm is much more sophisticated than that.
Awesome. I got the next question for you, Greg. So Don on YouTube is asking, everyone talks about negative keywords. What exactly is a negative keyword?
Yeah, good question. So we'll dive into negative keywords more during our PPC episode, which I forget. You remember what episode that is, Rolando?
Ooh, I want to say episode 13 or 14.
Coming soon.
Yes.
So we'll dive into that more. But what negative keywords are these are keywords that you're telling Amazon that you don't want them to show your ads for. So you don't want to pay for clicks for those keywords because they're not relevant. For example, if I was selling glasses, like glasses to drink out of, and I want to tell Amazon not to rank me for eyeglasses, like the glasses you wear on your head. That would be an example of a negative keyword. So that's relevant once we start setting up our PPC campaigns. Right now, that doesn't really matter.
Awesome. Let's see. So we've got Chris asking, when using Keyword Scout, should we also focus on dominant category?
Yeah, good question. And I would say that no, that's not super important. So let me show you what he's talking about. I'm sharing my screen again here. And when you're in Keyword Scout and you search for a particular keyword, I did marshmallow sticks as my example. There's one category or column here that's called dominant category. And this is for that keyword, what's the category that the majority of the listings rank in, okay? Or are indexed in, sorry. And this is helpful from time to time, but you don't really need to focus on it that much. The only time I'd say that you really need to be thinking about this or focusing on it is maybe if I go back to that glasses example, like a glass, like a cup to drink out of versus eyeglasses. Eyeglasses would probably be in like healthcare, whereas a cup to drink out of would be like more home and household categories. So that's when it can kind of be beneficial, but I wouldn't say you really need to focus hard on this.
Awesome. And earlier in the week on Facebook, we had some questions. I'm going to keep it to keyword research for now, and then maybe we could touch on the other remaining questions. But this question comes from Patrick on in the Facebook group, and he asks, My question is, how do you do keyword research on Amazon.de? And in Keyword Scout, this option was available, but grayed out. So I guess the first question is, any idea of future rollouts and how we do rollouts? That'd be a starting point. And then if it's not available, maybe give some tips on how to actually conduct keyword research.
Yeah, good question. So, Keyword Scout should support all of North America and the EU by the end of this year. I don't know exactly what week or month. I know the engineers are working very hard on it right now. We want to make sure that all the numbers are of very high accuracy and really spot on, just like the US Keyword Scout. So I don't know the exact time frame, but they're working hard on it right now. And so with that being said, I'm not that familiar with German keyword research tools. So if it was me, unfortunately, I'd probably just turn to Google right now until Keyword Scout is released for Germany. So I would just search in German on Google for keyword research tools.
Yeah, AdWords is a good tool to use when there isn't any specific research tools like Keyword Scout available. AdWords is by default they have so much data. The only downside to using Google AdWords or any other platform like that, of course, is that it's not directly correlated with Amazon sales. It's more of a broad search versus what's happening on Amazon. So that's why Keyword Scout is just incredible, because it is directly tied to Amazon and it pulls from Amazon's API all the data that we get from Amazon.
Yep. Peter Gooding says, is it vital that I repeat my title keywords in the bullet point / product descriptions of my listing? No, it's not vital. It's not required, and it doesn't even give you any additional ranking benefit. If you want to repeat them just so that sentences flow more nicely, that's perfectly fine, but don't expect to rank better because you're doing that.
All right. Let's see. Shakir is from YouTube is asking, after analyzing my search terms in my advertising reports, I noticed over 80% of my sales list competitor ASINs as search term, making it ineffective to add new keywords. What would be your advice?
So that doesn't make it ineffective to do new keywords. Let me share my screen with you again. You can see what I'm talking about here. So I just searched for marshmallow sticks. Let's go ahead and click on the jungle sticks. If you're seeing ASINs on your search term report, and again, for those of you watching this right now, we're getting into PPC topics, so this is not super relevant for today's Ask Me Anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer this real quickly. If you're seeing ASINs on that search term report, that means that people went to that listing and clicked on one of these. So this says sponsored products related to this item. So if I were to click on one of these right now, in your search term report, you would see this ASIN right here, because this is the ASIN of the jungle sticks, right? So that's why it's showing up there, but that doesn't mean it's ineffective to try to search or to bid on other keywords.
Awesome. Okay. So Steven asks, hey guys, when will Keyword Scout come to? Oh, I think we already addressed this to regions outside of the U.S. market. I think we touched on that one, so we can move on to the next one.
I have a good one. Mr. System says, if the main keyword is bamboo sticks, STICKS, and bamboo sticks, STIX, do we need to include both bamboo sticks and bamboo sticks? And they're talking about the two different spellings of sticks here, STICKS or STIX. And the answer is that Amazon's algorithm is supposed to be sophisticated enough to be able to detect either misspellings or other ways to spell words. However, it was me, especially if that was my main keyword, I would just include both spellings there. They're supposed to be able to kind of switch out either stemmings or plurals or misspellings, but in my opinion, it's usually better to be safe with those types of things.
Awesome. And Chris asks, what are some common mistakes when selecting the correct keywords? I think a lot, I would add to this saying, or my answer to this would be, one of the biggest mistakes is just not doing enough of it. In other words, not diving deep enough, not searching multiple keywords as well, because you don't want to just focus on one. You do want to have a variety of keywords to work with, do ASIN searches on competitors. So just diving a little deeper into your keyword research is I think the most common mistake is that people kind of just take, their first option, their first choice. But what would you say, Greg?
No, I think that was really good, Rolando. I think that's a good one. But Kavi on YouTube just asked, what's the difference between merchant words versus keyword scout? And I saw that there, so I just did a search on my computer actually that I'll share with you right now. And so I just pulled up merchant words right here. Thank you, live support, versus keyword scout. And I just want to show you the difference between these two real quickly, okay? So there's a few things that sets apart keyword scout, and it's the reason that, if you go into the Facebook groups or wherever else and ask what the best keyword research tool is, 9 out of 10 people will tell you keyword scout. Now, the main reasons for this is, let's say I'll break it down to the three most relevant items. The first one is that Keyword Scout actually uses real search data from Amazon in order to populate these results. And if you don't believe me, do this. Bid on one of these keywords, make sure you're the highest bid, and see how many impressions you get over a 1-month period. And what you'll find is it will be the exact same of what Keyword Scout is showing you here, okay? So that's how you can verify whether or not a keyword research tool is accurate, all right? So that's the first reason. Whereas merchant words, they estimate the search volume, they drive it from, they wrote a blog post about this, so it's public, from Bing search data. But as we already talked about, the search behaviors on a search engine like Bing or Google are going to be different than Amazon, and that's why it's very hard to correlate the two, right? So that's the number one reason I think that Keyword Scout's better, or that's one of the main differences. The second one that I'll give, and this is actually even maybe more important than the accuracy, is the quality of the results that you get back when you make a search. So I just did marshmallow sticks because we all know I sell my jungle sticks, and here are some of the results that I got back, okay? So I searched for marshmallow sticks, and what Keyword Scout does is Keyword Scout finds all of the keywords that people searched for and then ended up buying marshmallow sticks. All right, so people search for things like camping supplies and bought marshmallow sticks. They searched for s'mores kit and ended up buying marshmallow sticks, all right? So it gives you a lot of keywords that people have searched for and ended up buying marshmallow sticks under, but they don't necessarily include the term marshmallow stick. So it gives you other other keywords that are good for you without necessarily including your seed keyword. And in comparison, on merchant words, I just searched for marshmallow sticks, the exact same thing. And what you'll see here is all the results include marshmallow sticks. So I have marshmallow roasting sticks, marshmallow stick, bamboo marshmallow roasting sticks, bamboo marshmallow sticks, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't give me these other examples of words. So the problem with this is I could have just bid on marshmallow sticks with broad match and I would have shown up for all of these. It's not giving me these other ideas or these other keywords that people are searching for when they end up buying marshmallow sticks, all right? You'll also see, like marshmallow sticks, 247,000, whereas in reality, it's pretty far off. Right here, it's only 822 exact match or 2,211 broad match for marshmallow sticks. And again, this comes directly from Amazon. We're not estimating this. So this is the real numbers that we're getting from Amazon. So it's pretty far off. And then the last thing I'll just say, Keyword Scout also gives you a bunch of other Amazon specific information like headline search ad bids, like your PPC bids, how easy it is to rank for that keyword, how many units you'll need to give away in your launch in order to rank for that keyword. So it gives you lots of very valuable information. So I don't want this to be a Keyword Scout sales pitch, so I'll stop there, but hopefully you're starting to kind of like understand the differences of these two tools.
All right. So it looks like there's a question directed towards me from Donald asking, what is that picture behind me? And that's actually my vision board. This is one of the action items, the very first action item that we encouraged everyone to do, is to visualize what it is that you would like to accomplish, or that you love, what you're passionate about. Because that's what, every time as you can see, this is my office space. Every time that I step into this office space, that's the first thing I see, and I'm just inspired, and that gets me through the day. So I highly recommend that you create one. They call it a vision board. Some people call it a dream board. I love it. It's always there. It's always reminding me of what my targets are in life.
Right on. Rohan said, would it make sense for me to add Spanish translation on my description in the US store to capture more keywords? Yeah, I think this is a pretty cool little like trick or hack. If you have enough characters remaining in your description, feel free to translate that to Spanish, or at least put some of the main Spanish keywords in the bottom there to help rank for some of these other search terms. Because even though there's a small amount of search traffic in Spanish on the US store, it still is a decent amount, and every little bit helps.
All right. So we've got Victor asking, "Hi, Greg and Rolando. Thanks so much for putting these videos together. Does the product have to sell for keywords to rank, or does the searching that results in clicks to your listing do this as well?"
Yeah, so nobody knows every last detail of how the Amazon A9 algorithm works. However, I have a pretty darn good idea after selling tons and tons of products over the years, okay? And yes, you need to make sales in order to rank well on Amazon. And during our episode where we talk about our product launch, that's where we're gonna be talking about how to get initial sales to start ranking well on Amazon, okay? So just clicks onto your listing. I think there was like, I remember when I first started selling on Amazon, this would have been like 5 or 6 years ago. There were like some rumors going around that like you could like hire bots or whoever else to do a bunch of clicks on your listing, like just to get it more sessions. And this was supposed to help with your rank. Maybe it did 6 years ago, but it definitely does not work anymore. So don't waste your time.
Awesome. Next question, we've got Mike asking, so you take the words from the CSV and put them in according to priority?
Yeah, so we take our main keywords from the CSV, and we want to eventually get all of those keywords into our listing in some area. The keywords that are the most relevant for our product and also have high search volume, those are the ones we want to put in our title. And the title section at the end of the day is what's the most important section.
So you have this one master list that you're working from, and then ultimately that's what you're filtering through to find those the top searched keyword.
Yeah, right on. All right, I got a good question here. Is using ASIN in Keyword Scout revealing real keywords that ASIN seller entered? Can you elaborate? So what they're talking about here is the reverse ASIN lookup inside of Keyword Scout. So in Keyword Scout, even if you don't know what seed keyword you should search for, instead you can do a reverse ASIN lookup on a competitor's listing. So let me share my screen with you again, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I just did this. I just typed in the ASIN. I just grabbed it off my marshmallow stick since I already had this up, and I searched for it, okay? And it came back with 736 results, and you'll see there's a whole bunch of keywords in here. Oh, I even saw Jungle Scouts one of our keywords. Cool. I wonder how many searches that gets. Oh, Jungle Creations gets 128 searches per month, Rolando. I guess
Nice.
the $1 million case study is doing well. Oh, Jungle Scout gets 282 searches on Amazon. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what they find, but they search for it. Anyway, so I'm getting off topic here. So what this is this is showing you all of the keywords that this product ranks on the first 5 pages of Amazon for, okay? So if I take this one right here, bamboo sticks, and I will go to Amazon and search for bamboo sticks, then what you'll see here is if you went through, so on this one, we're actually on the first page, but if you click through to the first 5 pages, you would see that keyword for this particular product on there, okay? And this is different than the keywords that we're indexed for. We're indexed for like thousands of keywords, right? Like all kinds of different stuff that doesn't even matter for our particular product. What's more important is the keywords that the listing ranks for, okay? So, this product has been around a while. It does really well, so it ranks for 736 keywords on Amazon. That's higher than normal. What you'll find for most products is they rank for maybe like 100 keywords or 200 keywords or something like that. And again, that's different than being indexed for keywords. Being indexed for keywords just means that Amazon realizes that that keyword's associated with your product. Ranking for that keyword means that like you're actually making sales for that keyword, or Amazon deems you relevant enough to put you on those first 5 pages of results. So hopefully that answers your question well.
All right, we got Edward up next from YouTube asking for backend keywords. Do we need to remove the repeated words? For example, should we use, and in quotes, black keyword tray metal instead of black keyboard tray metal keyboard tray? So in other words, do we remove repeated words? And
Repeated,
I would answer that and say absolutely yes.
yeah,
Primarily because you are limited to the 250 characters in that field, and so if you're repeating keywords, it's irrelevant and it's useless. So you want to make the best out of that the character use that you can.
yeah, totally. All right, let's see. Uh, Bilal on YouTube asks, I found a keyword with huge volume and low competition on the Amazon first page. The only thing is it doesn't come from the mother niche. Is that fine? I don't really know if that's what you're asking. Yeah, maybe if you could rephrase it in a different way. I'm sorry, I don't know for sure what that means. Nicole C on YouTube says, do you want to fill in the other keyword sections in the back end or just focus on the search terms? Nicole, you can fill in the other sections. I think some of them are indexed and some of them not so much, but it doesn't hurt just to fill them in. So I'd say just go for it. Let's take this Facebook question, Rolando, from Frank Coleman. I have a product coming that is somewhere more geared for hotter months. It took longer than I thought. What is the best strategy to get sales during these colder months? Is it a good idea to stay with it over the next 4 months or so I solidify my spot amongst the top sellers? Yeah, good question. The tactics that you're going to want to use to get sales are the same tactics that you're going to use no matter what time of year it is, even if it's like the kind of like the hot time of year. So we'll talk more about those during our launch strategy and our PPC episode, but even like products that are better, you said it's something for hotter months, so let's pretend it's a pool float. Pool floats do still sell in the wintertime. It's just like 10% of the amount of sales of the summer, right? So I mean, at this point, you've already ordered it, it's coming in, so yeah, I would say get it in there and start selling it.
All right. Some really good questions on keyword research here. So when creating your title, so Chris from YouTube asks, when creating your title, how important is it to use proper grammar such as commas and periods, and does it affect search results?
And Chris V is always good on the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the questions, Chris. We appreciate it. So proper grammar is not required. I normally don't use proper grammar. If you look at my titles, they're a little bit weird. They read okay, but not great. To break up different kind of like thoughts. Sometimes I use one of those, I don't even know what it's called. What's the up and down, the just straight line up and down. I don't know what that thing's even called.
I used to call it pipes. They used to call it pipes when I was
Pipes.
in coding school.
Yeah, sure. That's probably what it's called. I don't know. I've never said that word out loud. Uh, so yeah, proper grammar is not required. Online Sports on YouTube says, how can we upload more than one product at a time to Amazon with all the info at the same time with a XLS? Can you please explain the process? I've never personally done this. However, I know there is a way to do it. Let me share my screen real quickly so you can see it. What I did is I just clicked it on add a product. And what you can do is you can do this one, list many products via bulk upload, download an inventory file. When you download this, I have downloaded one before just to look at it. There are instructions on there about how to go about doing it, but I've never personally done it, and it would probably take a little while, so I'm not gonna give an example over this AMA. Sorry.
Like you said, I have done it as well. It's very instructional on what to do. You just have to match everything identical, or else you'll start getting errors all over the place. So just follow the template that they provide, essentially.
Cool. Peter Gooding says, with a brand new listing, would you recommend focusing on keywords with the largest search volume and highest competition, or multiple keywords with lower volume that are much easier to rank? Good question. I would put the high volume keyword still in my title. I still like to focus on those for the keywords in my title. But again, you want to use all these keywords, even the ones that are lower volume, in other areas of your listing, like your bullet points and description and what have you.
And those will come in handy as well when we get into PPC. So, just having that working list is going to be very useful.
Cool. We got one question. Are there any plans to consider umlauts? So that's like if there's like the O with 2 dots on it, consider using them in your CSV. I actually didn't know anything about this. So yeah, we'll ask our developers if we can make that happen. I guess I don't think I've ever tried to download a keyword file that has those. So yeah. All right.
All right. KW is asking, I'm selling my products for 15 days on Amazon. I put my ASIN in Keyword Scout. It didn't show any keywords. Why?
It is because it only shows the keywords that you're ranked on the first 5 pages for, okay? And I will say that the data, it takes like a few days for Keyword Scout to find those. So like if I launched my product today and I got to the first page of a certain keyword today, that's hard to do on the first day, that probably wouldn't be in Keyword Scout yet. So I'd say check back in Keyword Scout in a few days. And again, these have to be the keywords that you rank on the first 5 pages for. These aren't the keywords you're indexed for, because when people are searching their competitors, no one cares about what keywords they're indexed for. There's tons of products that have never sold a single unit in their whole life that are indexed for keywords. All people care about is what keywords that they're ranking well.
Awesome. Next, we've got Robert asking, any criteria regarding minimum exact searches should my main keyword have to validate the market for a product with the Jungle Scout, or the JS extension?
No, I'd say stick to the product research methodology that we explained to you during episodes 1, 2, and 3, right? First 3 episodes.
Yep.
In there, we don't use keyword search volume as one of the factors of whether or not we decide this is a good product. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going step by step of what's imperative, what's important. That's why this is coming a little further down the road, because this applies now to just your listing. So your keyword research, do that independently and separately from your product research, separate from your keyword research.
M Paradox on YouTube says, what are the significance of platinum keywords? Don't worry about platinum keywords. That is from like 15 years ago in the very infancy days of Amazon. And it's just this thing that they haven't deleted yet. They don't do anything. Here's a good question from MIDI Ventures on YouTube. An FNSKU question. I got my GTINs from GS1. Man, a lot of acronyms in the first 2 sentences. I would like to use it. I would like to use it versus the ASIN on my packaging. What are the pros and cons? All right, so this is always a very confusing subject. I'm looking around my room to see if I have any props. Man, where's my Jungle Sticks prop? I guess they're gone. Someone stole my sticks.
Oh, man.
All right, so I think we're getting a few things mixed up or confused here. So the ASIN doesn't ever need to be on your packaging. The ASIN, let me share my screen actually again. This is going to make a little more sense. I know right now this is confusing. So let's click on my Jungle Sticks. The ASIN is this number right here, okay? And this is the unique identifier that Amazon gives this product. So this is the way in their system that they know what product you have essentially, all right? So that's the ASIN. That never needs to be on your packaging, and there's no barcode directly associated with an ASIN. So that leaves you with 2 different types of barcodes, okay? There's, on one hand, there's a UPC, or, all right, let me say it this way. On one hand, there's a GTIN, and a GTIN can consist of the GTIN, or a UPC, or an EAN. Think about those all together though. Those are assigned from GS1, which is a government organization. A lot of acronyms, so I know this is confusing, but the GTINs are assigned from a government organization And this is a universally accepted unique identifier for your product. All right. So you can think of those three the same: GTIN, EIN, UPC, it doesn't matter. Amazon does require that you have one of these three in order to create a listing. All right. So that's one important thing about it. And if you ever wanted to sell your product in like Walmart or someone else, they would also require that you have one of these GTINs, because that's the barcode on the back of the packaging that they can scan and realize it in their universal system that also Home Depot and Lowe's and whoever else, everyone else would have. All right. So those are GTINs. You can put the GTIN barcode on your packaging if you want. However, in order to send it into Amazon, you have to put the FNSKU barcode, FNSKU barcode on top of it. Amazon does not want to scan the UPC unless you do something called commingled inventory, but let's not get into that because commingled inventory sucks. So Amazon does not want your GTIN barcode to scan. They want the FNSKU barcode to scan. So what I do, I just get this GTIN from the government organization in order to create my Amazon listing. And then I never print that on my packaging. Instead, I print this one, the FNSKU barcode on my packaging. That way I never have to put labels on my packaging covering up this GTIN. I know that's a million acronyms and it's probably kind of difficult to understand as a beginner, but that's the gist of it. So to simplify this, get a GTIN so you can create a listing. Just put the FNSKU barcode on the packaging. Print it directly on the packaging instead of putting a label on it. So hopefully does that make sense, Rolando?
That makes perfect sense.
Right.
Just a lot of acronyms. That's the only problem.
A lot of acronyms, so it's hard to. And it's like, wait, a
game.
UPC is the same thing as a GTI, and it's like, yeah, pretty much, like minus 2 zeros on the front.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get into some keyword research. Well, some keyword questions. So Mr. System asks, I have only 200 letters allowed in the title. Would you include your brand or additional keywords instead of your brand?
Yeah, my vote's no. Some Amazon sellers will tell you that they think you can rank better if you put your brand name at the front. And of course, if you look at like Sony or Panasonic or Nike or whatever else, they have their brand name in the front. We even have it in the front of some of our listings just because we never really changed them. But my opinion on it is actually no. Don't waste the character count because no one's searching for your brand. Instead, just put your main keywords on there.
Awesome. Krista asks, is the safest bet to buy a GS1 barcode rather than to use a third-party barcode?
Yeah, good question. Yes, that's definitely the safest bet. Amazon will tell you it's required to buy a barcode from GS1 instead of a third party. The next question on there is from Rudy that says, have you heard of anyone's Amazon account getting canceled from using a third party's UPC number? I haven't personally heard of that ever happening. That being said, I want to be clear that Amazon's rule, if you're being technical and following the rules here, is that you have to get these barcodes from GS1. So if you choose not to, we're not going to police that. So, you're the business owner at this point, so feel free to do what you want. But our job here is to kind of educate you guys on what is like best practices and what is kind of following the rule.
And along that vein, looks like this topic is a popular one right now. Nicole asks, does the FNSKU have to be a certain size to make sure it's scannable?
Yeah, on Amazon's website, they do have the size. I want to say off the top of my head, it's 1 3/8 wide. Maybe it's 1 3/4. I don't know. You can Google that and figure it out. It looks like Rolando might be Googling it right now. But yes, it does have to be a certain size. Just imagine, like if you just a tiny little barcode you can barely read, it probably wouldn't be very scannable.
Yeah, according to Amazon, it says dimensions must be 1 inch by 2 inches and 2 inches by 3 inches. So that's the.
To be honest with you guys, I've never like measured to make sure that mine were that certain size. But like you've seen barcodes before, like on every piece of packaging of any product you ever bought, they're about like this wide. I don't know what Amazon's exact rule is anymore, but if you just make them like this wide, you'll be fine.
That's yeah, the important thing is just Don't go. Yeah, don't make it super tiny. That it's just a regular barcode scanner. They pick it. They pick up most barcodes. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see. Shakir says, in your experience, when launching a new variation of a product, for example, a swaddle blanket, how is your keyword strategy different compared to an entirely new product launch? So when I'm launching variations, I use pretty much all of the same keywords with the exception of whatever is different about that particular variation. So let's use our hooded baby towels as an example. With our hooded baby towels, we have white, blue, pink, and gray. For the white one, those I'll call that like my parent product. We just have like all of our normal keywords. For the pink one, we also include keywords like girl or yeah, I think primarily girl in the title. The blue one, we include the keyword boy in the title. I think the gray one, we include unisex in the title. So you start to get an idea here. If it was a different size shoe, I would include the new shoe size in the title. If it was a different print or a different color, I would include that in the title because some people aren't going to be searching for black keyboard tray. So when we make when we're creating our keyboard tray listing, we will also include that term in there.
All right. We got Father Earth 2011 asking on YouTube, can you switch from third-party barcode to GS1 and not change the FN SKU?
I think the FN SKU is going to be totally independent of the third party versus GS1. It's not really a barcode, it's really a GTIN. But it's going to be hard to get Amazon to change the GTIN because that's like the anchor in their system, I think, of how they create the ASIN. So many acronyms we're using here. But so you could, I'm 99% sure you couldn't just go into Seller Central and change it. Maybe if you open up a case with the catalog team with Seller Central and tell them that you want to change it because you messed it up or whatever, that might be possible.
Yeah, that'd be something you'd have to deal with direct with Amazon, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a Facebook question here, Rolando. I see one on Facebook from Tajwar. It says, hello, I'm new on Jungle Scout. Quick question, is a keyword section on Amazon listing page doesn't allow more than 256-bit characters for apparels except for title. How can we use keywords to optimize the listings? I don't fully understand the question. However, there's different I do know there's different character limits for different categories. Like some they'll allow you 250 characters on the title, other categories only 200, but the basics, the concepts around it are still the same. So you're still going to be using the same keyword optimization techniques that we're talking about when we're talking about our product for apparel.
Awesome. All right. We got Matt from YouTube asking, I want to create a listing for my first product and create an FN SKU for my packaging. I have an LLC, but no brand name decided yet. Can I change the brand name later, or is it
Fixed? I think it's supposed to say fixed. The short answer is yes. I have changed brand names before. I think I have been able to do it in Seller Central, but I would say just plan on that not being able to do that inside Seller Central instead of having to open a support ticket with seller support and ask them to change it for you, and then also expect to be able to give a reasoning for wanting to change it. So ideally, you just come up with your brand name pretty quickly before you create your listing. But worst case scenario, you should be able to change it in the future. Like I would be 75% confident that I could change it in the future, but expect to have some hassles associated with it.
All right. We've got Bill from Facebook asking, does it help to have the same keywords in all the title, backend, and bullet points at the same time? So in other words, having the same keyword in the backend, bullet points, description, I'm assuming, does it help to have the same keywords?
Yeah, no, it doesn't give you any boost. Feel free to do so if it makes like your sentences, like work more nicely, but
Mhm.
it doesn't help your keyword rank. Another question from Chris V. Always lots of questions from Chris. Thanks, Chris. Does the FNSKU have to be white and black, or if our packaging is brown, can we do brown and black? So if you read Amazon's terms of service, I would be pretty confident that they would say it has to be black on top of white. At the end of the day, what they care about is that the barcode can be scanned with their lasers. And the more contrast, the easier it would be for their lasers to scan it. I have never printed anything besides black on white. If it was like black on really light yellow or off-white or something, I'd probably be cool with that, but I wouldn't try to do black on brown. What I have done is, actually for our Jungle Snugs, I don't know where all my examples went, man. I had some of this sitting around here. For our Jungle Snugs packaging, it's a brown packaging, but what we had to end up doing was printing a white box on the brown packaging and then putting the black barcode on top of that white box. That's what I'd recommend doing for you. It seems kind of risky to try to put black on top of brown. I wouldn't be willing to take that risk.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. All right, we got Mike Rivers asking on YouTube, which is Greg's top 3 must-dos for getting best keyword research in Keyword Scout?
Yeah, so Keyword Scout makes it pretty easy to get the best keywords. If you're asking for 3 things, so I'd say 1, search for all of the keywords that you can think of. 2, put in the ASINs of your competitors to make sure you're getting all of the keywords that they're ranking for. And 3, just because you asked for 3, I don't really have a good 3 one, but probably just export all those into a singular list to make sure you can figure out which ones are the highest search volumes.
Awesome.
Well,
I think it's
Rolando, we're 2 minutes past time here, man. We were having too much fun that we forgot to look at the clock. Let's go ahead and take this last one, and then I'll let Rolando let you announce the giveaway for today. Simsec on YouTube says, we always use UPC at speedybarcode.com, but you use a different site, but the price is so different. Ours is $5, yours is $50, if I'm not wrong. That's correct. We are following Amazon's rules by getting them directly from the government organization, which is called GS1. This is the safest and most conservative way to go about it. We know we won't have any problems with Amazon. I do know a lot of people are like you, Simsec, who use these third parties. To us, that seems a little risky because we're trying to build this long-lasting, healthy business for years and years to come, and this is something that'd be difficult to change. So for us, well, we prefer to just follow the rules. But if you want to continue to use those and they're working, again, like I said earlier, you're the business owner here. That's your decision to make. So, Rolando, who's today's MDCS challenge winner?
All right, this week's lucky winner is Chris Chen. So congratulations, Chris Chen. You 2 months access of the web app. So that means that you have access to Keyword Scout. So all you got to do is just shoot us an email to freedombuilders@junglescout.com and we'll get you all set up.
Sweet. Congratulations, Chris Chen. Thank you guys for tuning in today. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, I don't even know what to say to him, Rolando. I'm just going to cry if you haven't yet subscribed.
That happened a long time ago.
If you don't subscribe by next time, I'm not coming back. Put it that way. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We've really enjoyed it. Rolando, thanks for taking some time out of your day to join me, and we will see you guys next week. Next week, we're back on Thursday schedule, so see you Thursday next week.
All right, Freedom Builders, keep crushing it.